Hello, my friends. Welcome back to English Unleashed. Today, we are talking about how to learn new words so they stay in your mind for a long time. Many learners study vocabulary, but after a few days, the words begin to fall out of memory. They fall out, they slip away, they slowly disappear. You learn a word on Monday, and by Thursday, it feels far away. You recognize it when you see it, but you cannot use it. Sometimes you forget the meaning. The word is not gone completely, but it is not strong in your head. This happens to everyone. It happens because the brain naturally forgets. Forgetting is normal. The brain is always deciding what to keep and what to let go. If a word does not appear again, if it is not used, the brain thinks it is not important. So the word becomes weak. It becomes unstable, not firm. It just goes away. It is still in your mind, but not in a strong way. What we want is the opposite. We want words to feel stable. We want them to feel reliable. When a word is reliable, it comes when you need it. It is ready when you speak. It does not hide from you. Now, to make vocabulary stable and reliable, we need to work with memory in a smart way. We do not need to study for many hours. We need to study in the right way. One of the most important ideas is review. Yes, review. When you learn a new word, you should meet it again soon. You should see it again, hear it again, and use it again. If you meet the word at the right time, just before it begins to disappear, the memory becomes stronger. It becomes deeper. It becomes more solid. Think of memory like a path in a field. When you walk on the path once, the grass moves a little. The path becomes more clear. When you walk many times, the path becomes strong and easy to follow. Words are the same. When you review them again and again with some space between reviews, the path in your mind becomes clear. The word stops fading. It stops becoming weak. It begins to stay. But when you review, do not only look at the word. Try to bring it back from memory. Try to pull it back. This action is called retrieval. Retrieval means bringing something back from your mind. It means remembering without looking. You see a meaning and try to remember the word. You see the word and try to remember the meaning. You close your notebook and try to say the word again. This act of bringing the word back, this act of pulling it back into your mind, makes memory stronger. When retrieval feels a little difficult, that is good. That small effort builds strong memory. Now let's talk about how to learn new words. Many people try to store vocabulary as a single item. They try to store them like objects in a box. But the brain does not store language well when it is alone. To store means to save. The brain prefers connections. It prefers phrases. It prefers situations. So instead of storing a word by itself, store it inside a sentence. Store it inside a phrase. When you do this, the word has a home. It has a place. It is connected to meaning and sound. For example, when you learn a new word, put it into a short sentence about your life. Say it out loud. Write it down. Imagine a situation where you would use the word. When a word is connected to your life, it becomes easier to keep. It becomes easier to recall. It does not sit alone in memory. It lives inside a situation. This makes the memory richer and stronger. Now, another important idea is use. If you learn a word and never use it, the brain thinks it is not important. So try to use new vocabulary soon after learning it. Use it the same day if you can. Say it when you speak to yourself. Write a sentence. Send a message. Record your voice. When you use a word in real communication, even in a small way, the brain marks it as useful. It says, this word matters. This word is important. The memory becomes more stable. It becomes more reliable. Now, emotion also helps memory. Words that connect to your experiences stay longer. If a word describes your work, your hobbies, your daily life, it will be easier to remember. Try to make sentences that are personal. Talk about yourself. Talk about people you know. When language becomes personal, it becomes meaningful. Meaningful language stays in the mind. Another helpful technique is repetition in different forms. When you learn a word, use it in several sentences. Use it in the present. Use it in the past. Use it in a question. Use it to describe something positive and something negative. This variety helps the word become flexible. It helps the word feel natural. You begin to feel comfortable using it in different situations. The word becomes part of your active vocabulary, not just something you recognize. Exposure is also very important. Exposure means meeting the same word again and again in real language. You hear it in a podcast. You see it in a story. You read it in a message. Each time you meet the word, the memory becomes a little stronger. You may not notice the change immediately, but over time, the word becomes familiar. It becomes normal. It becomes part of your language world. Exposure is like light on a plant. The more light the plant receives, the stronger it grows. Some learners find it helpful to review vocabulary in the evening. When you look at words before sleep, the brain continues working during the night. It continues organizing memory. It continues strengthening connections. Overnight, while you sleep, the brain processes what you learned. It sorts information. It builds stronger links. So, a short review before sleep can help words stay longer. It is also important not to try to learn too many words at once. When you try to learn a very large number of words quickly, they become weak. They become unstable. They do not stay. It is better to learn a small number and learn them well. Learn them deeply. Use them in sentences. Review them several times. Over time, this approach builds a strong vocabulary. Now, imagine learning a few words each day and reviewing them regularly. After a few weeks, you will notice that many of those words feel familiar. After a few months, they feel natural. They come to mind easily. You do not search for them. They appear when you need them. This is what happens when vocabulary moves from short-term memory into long-term memory. Now, let's imagine a simple daily rhythm. In the morning, you review a few words you learned before. You bring them back from your memory. You practice retrieval. Later in the day, you learn a small number of new words and place them inside sentences. You speak them aloud. In the evening, you try to use them again. Before sleep, you look at them briefly. This routine is not long or difficult, but it creates strong memory over time. As you continue, you will notice a change. Vocabulary will stop feeling like something you must force into your mind. It will begin to feel natural. Words will stop falling out so quickly. They will stop disappearing so easily. Instead, they will stay. They will remain in your memory. They will become stable and reliable. Okay, and here is the final point. Remember that vocabulary learning is a gradual process. It does not happen overnight. It does not happen in 1 week. But with regular review, meaningful use, and repeated exposure, your vocabulary will grow. It will grow in a way that is strong and lasting. Words will not only be recognized, they will also be used. They will become part of your voice. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of English Unleashed. I'm Tom, and until next time, keep learning, keep reviewing, and keep bringing words back into your mind. Bye for now.